If the opportunity came your way to be granted one wish without question, what would that be?
Without a doubt, it would be to have an education system where young people leave education with the skills and confidence to define and create success for themselves.
I would like to have sufficient of whatever that may be, sufficient money, sufficient health, sufficient love, sufficient friendship, sufficient whatever that may be.
Oh, one wish granted to me without questioning.
Yeah.
I would wish that there wouldn't be any violence in the world.
Gosh, good question, John. I'm not usually left speechless, but you've caught me. There'll be a lot of people watching going, well, John, you finally did it. If I had one wish that could be granted to me.
Without question.
Without question. Oh my goodness, John. Oh my goodness. It's a tough one. I suppose I seek joy. You know, joy is what I seek. Joy is what gives me fulfillment, and joy is different to everybody.
Okay, I would love to have my own small vineyard in Italy, where I was part of a community of artisan food producers. That would be it, yeah. That would be my personal request.
I would like to see the education system to change. I think there are so many different ways that people learn. There are so many different ways that people are creative. There are so many different ways that people are sporty. There are so many different ways that our education is currently allowed to explore.
I'm a surviving twin. My twin sister died when we were 3 months and I survived. I would love to have a conversation with my twin sister, Yvonne. Where she could tell me that I have lived my life for both of us, especially since I had that realization when I was 50 that I hadn't really lived up to that for not all of the time, you know, that I had forgotten sometime.
For me, it would be that everybody on planet Earth became kinder to each other, and that sounds very altruistic, and I don't mean it like that, but over the past year I've become a Samaritans Listening volunteer, and it is the greatest privilege to be a volunteer for that organization. But there are so many people out there having a hard time, so many people struggling. And I think that sometimes we can get caught up in our own lives. You know, I've got to have this thing, I've got to do that, I need to get the next promotion. And actually, if we all just slowed down a bit and were just kinder to each other and gave up some time to people that don't have everything that we have, and that we were all nicer to each other. It sounds, but in simple ways, just stopping and listening to somebody who's lonely walking down the street, whatever it might be, then the world would be a better place.
I think I might be a little bit personal on this. I could ask for world peace and, you know, things like that. But I think I bring it a lot closer to home to my son. I think young people are facing very difficult times ahead of them. And I would wish that his life would be free from any mental health issues or any physical health issues. I think to have a life that, you know, living the life that he wants to live would be without any mental health or physical health issues would be something I would love as a wish.
This might sound a little deep, but I think my grandmother on my mother's side, she passed away when my mum was only 13 and I never met her. So maybe to get the opportunity to meet her would be quite nice.
I would love
to request, please, universe, you're listening, my beautiful cottage by the sea. I have a vision of this beautiful house. It's a smallish house. I call it a cottage, but it's not quite a 1-bedroom cottage. And it's on a bit of a hill. So it's, not at risk if there's high waves. But it's walking distance down to the beach. And there's beautiful little cafes and little community nearby. And it's got, it's very eco-friendly. It's got all the underfloor heating and all of that. So that is my request right now, John. Thank you.
How do we create a peaceful world? That was the first thing. And I know it sounds so cliche, world peace, but actually that is the biggest thing, I think, is how do we resolve what's going on in the world and all the challenges that our world is facing and the impact that it's having on people around the world. So yeah, that would be that's a big question to be answered. I don't know that anyone's going to, but thanks for the opportunity for getting me thinking about it.
As a tattooed Brummie from Birmingham with a beard, I probably should never talk about compassion, but I think one of the most beautiful things I would like to see is everyone having the ability to access compassion. Because that moment you can get an understanding that there's things going on for other people, and those things going on for other people may not be their fault. It softens how you work with people and how you deal with people. That person who cuts you up in the car, if you realize that maybe they cut you up because they're rushing off to hospital to see a loved one who's palliative, it softens the experience. So I think for me, there's a big piece around compassion.
If you were given the opportunity to make one single request that would be granted without question, what would that be?
Oh, that's a biggie, isn't it? Never judge a person's ability unless they've had the opportunity to learn.
So I suppose my wish would be that I would be able to continue to do this work as long as possible. I think I'm very lucky to have found something that I really, really love. And I think it's using all of my skills. I think I found my purpose. And I just want to be able to do this as long as possible and help as many people as possible for as long as they want to listen to me.
Gosh, okay, I'm going to throw this one out there because it is in my head. I would love to up and travel for a year, because I've never done a lot of travel in my lifetime. So one thing granted, I'd love to travel. I'd love to go to Asia. I'd love to go to India. I'd love to see parts of the world and culture and meet people with different backgrounds and learn their way of life.
I wouldn't mind living forever. Oh, the one that I would really like, I wouldn't mind, I would like this. I'd like to meet aliens. And I would like to meet aliens and see alien life before I die.
I've got plenty of answers to that question in the last couple of weeks, so that's an unusual one.
My point is, though, that I think as we get older and as our parents get older, we're confronted by the frailty of life, and we're not going to live forever. Everybody knows that, but you don't think about that when you're 20 or 30 or even 40. I think when you're 50 and 60 and 90, you clearly, understand that you're not going to live forever. And I think the frailty of life and the fact that we're here for a period of time, and you kind of look back in your life and think, have I done enough with it, and all those sort of introspective things you can think about. But actually, I think the other thing you think about is how lucky I am, and we live in this modern society with all these, I hate the word mod cons, but we do have a huge amount going for us compared to other civilizations or other parts of the world. So answer to your question, it's the boring word health. I think we take it for granted far too much. I think as entrepreneurs, we clearly take it for granted. We abuse ourselves so much.